All right. Hey. This Torrence Ford here. Hope everybody's doing well. And, it's the end of year is almost near. Who could have imagined that the end of year would have come so quickly? But I pray everybody is still being safe and taking care of their families and ready to rock and roll. The real estate market is still hot. Things are still happening. A lot of new developments taking place. I'm so excited for things that have happened in the Atlanta area. I got a chance to go to the Politan Row, which is the $1 million+ renovation over at Colony Square. If for my old ATLians out there who haven't been there, go check it out. Live music, great food. It's a cool food hall. It's one of 3 new food halls that have opened up in the Atlanta area. Check it out. Today, I wanted to bring on a near and dear friend of mine. Her name's Jamie Bailey. She's with Southeast Mortgage. I've had a great relationship with Southeast Mortgage for at least 10 to 12 years. They've been saviors of mine. They've saved quite a few deals. They've helped a lot of my buyers that will maybe go to other lenders and get lower than thou approval letters. I've had some folks who've only been approved for 140, 160 that have been able to close at 210 with Southeast Mortgage. I can go on and on and on. But today I just wanted to bring on Jamie Bailey. She's the coolest lender in town. And just wanted to share a few highlights as far as what's going on with rates, what the trends are, and what people should be aware of with their home purchase or even investment purchase for that matter. So without further ado, I want to bring in Jamie Bailey. Hey, Jamie.
Hi.
Jamie, what's going on, sister? How you been?
Good. Crazy, like a rock star.
Hey, crazy is good, right?
Very thankful.
I agree. Same here. I couldn't be even more thankful. But well, thank you for joining us on our kickoff. It's 5:04, so I want to jump straight into it. Okay, Jamie.
Absolutely.
I get so many questions, or me, agents in my office get so many questions. The number one question are, where are rates right now, and where are they going? Like, people think that there's this pressure, I guess I better do something now before rates go up. Is this true, or what do you really think is happening with interest rates right now?
Great question. And rates are absolutely going to start in an upward trend.
Okay.
You can count on that. It doesn't matter which loan program you're looking at, whether you're doing a 30-year, 15-year conventional or a government loan. Absolutely, rates are going to increase.
Okay. Yeah, in comparison, but they're still good. I mean, you got folks closing at 2.9 to 3. They're still low. So relative, when you say go up.
Yeah, 2% lower than what we were in 2019.
I agree. Okay, fair enough. We'll leave it at that. So small jump, but nothing to cry home about. Okay. All right. Next biggest question that buyers will ask, even through social media, they'll say, should I wait for home prices to fall, or prices to fall in general? What are your thoughts on that? I had a guy in my office today from the New York area telling me his opinion, but what's your opinion from the lender's perspective on prices?
Anyone trying to wait on that, you've got to remember rates are lower. This market isn't the same as when we had the recession back in 2007.
Okay.
In other words, we don't have those same programs. There was predatory lending back then that drove a lot of these prices to plummet. I'm not going to have that. Frank Dodd Act that came out, that was one thing. So like for myself, you have to be licensed and for federal and state level to be a direct lender, right? So those are things to help. But you don't have the interest-only programs. You don't have the 100% investment programs, the stated programs that are more risk as well. I know there seems to be some out there, but I'm just speaking as a general.
Yeah, as a general, folks are still having skin in the game, right, Jamie? I mean,
absolutely. Option arms. Those are things that actually impacted the crash, if you will, in a negative way. A lot of predatory lending, and not having a licensed professional to guide you on mortgages is a big concern, because again, not putting the client in the right product is going to have repercussions down the line. and that's not
Okay.
good for the client ever.
Okay. No, you're right. Okay. Well, thank you. You hit that one head on. So this was funny. About 2 days ago, I had someone ask me this, or they got pre-approved with one lender, but then their mom or dad suggested that they go to their family lender.
Mhm.
And the question always gets thrown back at me, will getting pre-approved with multiple lenders hurt my credit score? What do you tell folks out there?
It's always good to shop and compare, but you need to have an established relationship. It's very important to me. Rate, it's always about cost. What is the actual cost? What is the offer? What's the timeline? What's the contract? Pulling your credit over and over again is not in the best interest of anyone, right?
Right.
But it depends on, is it same day? Is it later? Those are questions that I would have. How long ago was it? Was it 30 days ago? Have they opened up any new accounts? There's all these things that impact the algorithms that are hidden in the credit bureaus.
Okay.
So often if it's done, within that same 30 days, typically speaking, it usually comes out the same scores.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard two different schools of thought. I've heard of a 15-day rule where you can shop, and then I've heard of a 30-day. Any sway towards which way it is, or is it truly random?
I think it's random because we all don't know the answers to the algorithms in the credit bureaus because we don't know the rest of the story. Did they open an account? Did they go car shopping? Right. And that hasn't hit the credit yet, but the algorithms have adjusted because of the amount of inquiries. It's really a fascinating yet complicated system that the credit bureaus have. But I don't think it's a danger spot. Most inquiries are going to be 3 points to the credit.
Okay. I got you. Yeah. Well, thank you for clarifying that. You are known as the down payment assistance lady. You know of you know where to find money. You know about all the programs, and people love you for that. And your clients come back, on their second and third and fourth sale because you've been there for them. So tell us a little bit about that. How do people find out if they're eligible for grants or home buyer assistance programs?
The best thing to do is just call and let me give good consultation to them because there are so many steps to down payment assistance. There's statewide, there's county down payment assistance money. In some areas, people don't even need it. There's a lot of concerns when you're doing down payment. I always say we're playing in somebody else's sandbox. That means we've got their rules that we now have to adhere to, their costs, their rate. So those are things that I want to make sure anytime I'm talking to a new buyer that is considering down payment assistance, they really know all the way through the process. I think it's fantastic opportunities for folks to own a home, but it's not always in their best interest after we've had a discussion. And oftentimes down payment programs limit how much purchasing power you have, and people don't realize that.
Oh, wow. Okay. So there are limits of purchase prices. I got you.
Yeah, because it depends on income, household income. It doesn't matter if only one person's on the loan. And that's, again, it's a different array of down payment assistance programs, and they each have a different criteria. And that's why it's so important to really just seek consultation so we can advise you, hey, here's your choices and here's your options. And that way the consumer can take a moment and step back and see what's in their best interest.
What works for them. Because people always ask with a down payment, if it's a husband and wife, do you count both of their incomes or just one? And we always lean on you guys for that answer. What would you tell everybody on that? It depends, or you go with the strongest person? What do you do?
Even if the loan is in one of the borrower's names, right?
Okay.
It's household income. So even if you, forget a spouse for a second, let's talk about if you had a parent or a child that's receiving disability that you are a caregiver for, that income counts towards the income limitations, right?
Okay.
Not with every one of them, but in most cases. So that's why there's a difference between household income and the applicant's income.
Okay.
So it's
Okay.
two different things on that. So that was really good, but that's very confusing for most buyers.
Yeah, it confuses folks, and they, but thank you for clarifying that, sister. Okay, let's keep it going here. How long does it take right now? The market is competitive. Folks want to get in. They may be losing offers to multiple. It has slowed down a little bit where a home may sell in 8 to 13 days versus in 24 hours in the Atlanta market. But you still want to be a strong candidate, and you want to have a lender that agents know in the industry, which is how they determine. And I applaud y'all for that. When people see Southeast Mortgage, they know that you guys have a ability to close and track record. So how long does it take for y'all right now?
Well, let's break that down specific because there's different loans, right?
That's right.
We have a fantastic option, which is called the fast track. We can close in 2 weeks or less. And literally that is for that borrower. They have their money, they're W-2, they're not self-employed, they're not doing down payment assistant, credit's ready to go, and we can literally close in 2 weeks or less. So that's very exciting because
that's like cash, Jamie. That's quick.
Absolutely. So because even cash buyers, people don't realize you still have to have clear title.
Right.
So we still have to have title, whether you're cash or borrowing the money, right? So the fast track is really in sync with cash buyers. The other one is VA. It can take a little longer. Now, I usually close VAs in about 25 days. The biggest holdback on VA is the appraisal because any lender, we do not have control. VA assigns the lender the appraiser.
The appraiser.
Up to 10 business days. So that's the slowest piece. That doesn't stop us underwriting, but just sharing with you, we're waiting on that usually.
Okay.
Any kind of down payment assistant programs, you really ought to budget 30 to 45 days. It depends on their volume because it's actually two separate underwrites that have to be completed. So in-house, we can rock it out, get our conditions and all that, but everything has to be back, meaning the appraisal, the title, insurance, everything as if you were walking to the closing table that day. And then it has to go to the down payment assistant for their review.
Okay. Okay. Fantastic. Yes. So, all right. And conventional is again the 14. So
it just depends on that.
Okay.
Yes, because typically that's going to be your fast track option. Absolutely.
Okay. Well, we'll get it done, Jamie. Tell Cal we appreciate him bringing that product to the market. Is that in Georgia only, or is that in all of your markets where you guys lend?
No, it's all the same criteria. Absolutely.
Okay.
Any of the states we're licensed.
Okay. Where are y'all licensed, Jamie? Just off the top of your head.
South.
Where do you guys lend?
All right. So the Carolinas, of course, Georgia, Florida, Alabama, and Mississippi.
Bama and Mississippi. Okay. I didn't hear about the Mississippi. Yep. That's cool that you guys are there. All right. What about how much are closing costs usually? The old adage is, they're 3%. I got to ask you, do not need to ask for 3%. That will be the first way that you lose out on your multiple offer if there's, competition on a house. So what do you advise buyers of what their actual closing costs are?
So percentages can vary because it's a little tricky question. It depends on what amount they're financing, right? So God bless everybody. If you're only financing 100,000 versus a 400,000, the challenge is the attorney costs didn't change, not by much. There's settlement fees just to sit there for closing. And Georgia is an attorney state versus some of the other states are title states. So honestly, I try and tell customers to budget 2 to 3%. It doesn't mean that the seller is going to contribute towards that, but there again is that consultation where we advise them, hi, you can absolutely get the lowest rate. Here's the most cost. Or another option is perhaps, a slightly higher rate with less closing. So again, it's always about how and what is in the best interest of what the consumer wants and their needs are, so we can advise everybody properly.
Can advise them properly. Okay. So, all right. So we'll keep it going. We'll keep that going. All right. Where are we? We're at 14 to 15 minutes. Thank you, Jamie. Let's crank this thing up a little bit. Um, People always ask what type of loan they should consider. That's really should be super easy for you. You should be not should be able to, but I'm sure in your mind you're able to instantly tell a buyer what they can do. Is that just based on the down payment that they have available as far as a loan type that they should do? You know,
Oh, goodness, no. Yeah.
there's other factors, I'm
There's
sure.
so many, absolutely. It depends on, are they self-employed, the credit, have they had a bankruptcy? For whatever reason, this market's really challenging, not accepting like FHA loans,
Right,
which is really, I'm not a real estate agent, so I don't understand that, because just because one is a FHA buyer, it doesn't mean they're bad buyers. Oftentimes it's just like their credit isn't as established as a conventional buyer. That's the purpose of FHA, is to help
right,
people reestablish and or rebuilding the credit. One sickness, a divorce, a loss of job can change anyone's credit criteria, right?
criteria for
So
that. Right,
that's the beauty of FHA, right? Either a first time buyer that they're doing all the right things, but they're new. They just are
they're
starting.
new.
They're a young person. They just graduated college, have their first job, and now they want to be smart and build their real estate wealth.
Right,
So it's not a bad thing. If I could encourage other agents, if this person is going FHA over conventional, at least ask the question, why?
why?
Because I have a client now that beautiful credit, jobs really they're a young person and they
Right,
need
okay,
down payment assistance. And I explained that to the selling agent, had a great conversation and understands this is a viable buyer. We're going to close, which is the end zone for all of us, right? We want them to have their keys and we want the seller to be able to depart with their check. So
right,
these are things that once they understand and know the backstory that this is a solid buyer, but as a licensed professional, I need to do what's in the best interest of the borrower. And often it's not conventional. You
okay,
know, they can get a better rate, better payment with FHA. Not in all cases, just sharing in comparison, right?
right, right.
So I always validate my clients with that selling agent when they're under contract to
Mm-hmm.
explain this is why we're going this, because this is in the best interest of the borrower.
Of
And
the
that's
bar.
who matters
All right,
most.
Jamie, I'm gonna throw it out regarding USDA. I had a buyer ask about USDA and the portal, and then the buyer asked, how do they figure out if that home qualifies for USDA? It's one of our buyers that we're working with, but he asked that question. What should I tell him?
I love that loan. Way back in the day, I'm from the sticks. That was my very first home in Hiram, Georgia, when there wasn't nothing
Hiram,
but a skating rink and a liquor store. That's all there
Jamie,
was back
I
then.
love Hiram, but it's landlocked, Jamie. It is landlocked out there in Hiram.
Well, now it's like Cobb Parkway. Hiram is
Right.
now. It's not like how it used to be. But USDA actually controls the maps. So you
Okay.
can always go to USDA.gov to look
Okay.
what areas. But I try and tell everybody, think of rural, right? So anywhere the population is less than 20,000 is going to be rural area by definition with USDA.
All right. I see. Okay.
And it's a great, great loan. It's 100% financing. Their rates are fantastic. They will depend on their closing again by regions and their volume. Okay, so the same thing kind of we talked about down payment. We get the file hurried up, ready as fast as possible, and then upload to their portal so that they can do their audit and give the final okay to fund. So
Yeah, it's
it's a
just funny
fantastic loan.
as the city grows or expands further and further out, rural is becoming relative, right, Jamie? It's you know,
Absolutely.
development is going everywhere from Auburn, Georgia to Winston, Georgia, on the west side and east side. So it's getting crazy out here, but just living
Yep.
and learning and growing with the city. So all right, let's keep this thing moving here. Credit, probably 3 times or 4 times a month, I'll get Instagram messages and just people will call me and say, what does it take to boost my score? Do you have any tips and tricks on what it takes to boost? As agents, we always advise to the 30% rule, but I know there's so much more that we can share than that. So what maybe you can throw 2 or 3 tricks at us today.
All right. So Torrance, I'm not going to say tricks. I'm going to say
I know you
accuracy.
can't. Okay.
I love to help people with credit because, again, it's the understanding of credit. There's so many hidden algorithms, and I try to encourage everyone, if you're looking at Credit Karma, Credit Sesame, Equifax, those are good sources. They're not perfect, y'all, but they are giving you kind of a estimated projection of your credit. Okay. So when you're looking at anything that's not a hard inquiry on the credit, it's not going to be precise. Okay. So that's one thing to teach everybody. With us being a direct lender, we pull the credit one time. That credit's good
Okay.
for 4 months. Now, we're one of the actual partners that will help you with different strategies to improve the credit, to help improve the scores. But everyone's got something different. As far as 30% usage, that's really not the rest of the story. Every
Right.
individual person has a different portfolio of credit. So let's say somebody says, goodness, Jamie, my credit score was this, but I saw it drop 50 points. Typically speaking, it's going to be a new collection has reposted or a brand new one's hit the credit. Okay,
Okay.
those will drop the scores a lot. Inquiries, God bless people that go car shopping. If you don't go in there with your own financing, the car dealerships are going to have a time with you, and you're
They're
going. I
gonna
mean, I've
pull it
seen.
10 times and not tell you,
Well,
unfortunately.
I've seen 30 inquiries on somebody's credit. That's not an exaggeration from car shopping.
Okay. That's
Okay,
that, Jamie.
so
That's bad.
that's excessive. So that will get you. Also, having new credit. I talked with a client today. They're not doing anything wrong. It's just the timing of the credit. They had bought a new car just about 90 days ago, had refinanced another debt. So
Hmm.
all this activity has impacted the scores, that they're not as high as they were initially. This is not a
Okay.
bad thing. It only takes time for the credit scores to kind of balance. It's searching, right? What's the probability of you paying on time?
On time.
That's what it's looking at. So
Okay.
if you have a credit card, let's say for real quick, for an example, you have $1,000 limit.
Okay.
I advise people not to charge more than 70% of your actual limit. If you're trying to rebuild credit, what I would encourage you is, typically, don't hurry up. You've got this cash. I'll just pay all my debt. I was late before. Just go back, pay more than the minimum, pay on time, and pay that debt off in the next 3 to 4 months. And you'll happily see the credit will increase the right way because you're
That's a
showing a
good
good
strategy because
payment.
people rush, Jamie, and think they have to just dump a ton of cash on it immediately. And that's great advice to share with people today. You
Yes,
know,
please don't wipe out your cash when there's better strategies.
or people think that they have to dump that cash in there, that they may not be ready to buy a house immediately. So to your point, save the cash, work with the lender, and allow them to guide you on what to do so that you have closing costs, or you have, extra repair monies or upgrade monies to get your house set up properly.
Absolutely. And one other quick thing, you do not need a lot of trade lines. I don't know where that came about, but you do
Okay.
not have to have like 3 installments, two revolve. I mean, that's just nonsense. That is not how it works anymore. So it really breaks my heart when I've seen young buyers trying to, get an approval, and I'm like, oh my goodness, what's all this credit open for? Well, they were advised that, and it's not necessary. So please reach out for help. I'm happy to help people with credit. I love it. I want to help them be successful.
Well, yeah, I hear word on the street is that some buyers feel that lenders may not be willing to coach them, and I know you you shouted that to the mountaintops, that you are willing to coach them. You are patient, and you don't just force a pre-approval letter upon a buyer. And you don't say no, you say when or what the next steps are. So actually, one of our agents said that at Remax Premier, that Jamie never says no. She always gives a plan. And I thought you should know that all the agents love you, by the way.
Thanks, Tom, for the
So,
support.
yeah. All right. All right. Last 2 questions, Jamie. Let's see here. Actually, last one. I mean, I'll give you a really good one at the end here. What would you say is the most fulfilling part of your business? Like, with what you do and why you do it. Tell me, what's your why in this, with on the lending side? because it's stressful. You got to be a special type of person to work 12-hour days, 6-7 days a week, but you're always smiling and willing to help everybody.
Well, you're sweet, but I like to be a problem solver, and I like to
Yeah.
help people, and I love it that when 5 other people said no, I'm looking.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh, we lost her. No. All right. I think we lost Jamie, but I will finish that thought that, it's sad to say, but I will say that I have had people denied by other lenders where Southeast Mortgage has come in and have been able to finish. I've had a buyer that 24 hours before closing, the lender said that the loan was denied. And we took advantage of the fast track program and closed in 10 to 12 days thereafter with Southeast. They were able to use the previous appraisal and bring some things and move some things over, take the entire file from the previous lender. The lender agreed to share it. And we're able to get it done. So I hope that answered a lot of questions for people as far as what's going on out here in the mortgage world. Jumbo has just increased. So I think now you can go into the $700,000 range and get a jumbo loan. So I'm sorry, conventional has raised. So you can buy between 500 and 700 on traditional conventional without going into jumbo. Rates generally will go a little bit higher once you go above 700,000, but just want to let you guys know that. And let's see if we got Jamie coming back in. Anyway, on that note, I wanted to end. Thank you guys. Feel free to reach out to me, Torrence Ford here. Oh, never mind. Hey, Jamie. There we go. All right. So you're back, sister. You can hear me. All right. So I was just getting ready to close out, but this is a perfect close. Tell us your why and kind of why you do what you do, because you do work long hours and you don't give up on people. So please share if you don't mind.
Yes, I love people. I get to meet them, and what a blessing I have that I'm helping somebody for their whole family. They're starting out. What a blessing to be a part of that journey with somebody, even when it's tough. It's a great opportunity to serve people, and I love to serve and help people to build their real estate wealth through real estate and doing lending and coaching them up, because I want them to have great successes, and I'm just blessed that I get paid for something I love.
And your son, you told me I think 3 weeks ago, is looking to buy his first house, and mama's coaching him out of the house and up.
He already closed on it.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
That's awesome. So we'll keep right. Happy mama. Anyway, thank you, Jamie. I know we've gone over on the time. You guys can reach Jamie Bailey. Jamie, share your information. I was going to say, where can people reach you?
Y'all are always welcome to text or call. My direct number is 678-776-4375. Or if you prefer email, it's just Jamie, JAMIE.Bailey, BAILEY, at southeastmortgage.com. I look forward to helping everybody.
All right. Jamie, tell Cal we need to see you on some of those Georgia Bulldog commercials, okay?
Okay.
No more staying up late and not watching Jamie walk across that field. That's my goal. So I want to see you on one of those commercials, girl. Okay?
All right, boss.
All right, man. All right. Well, Jamie, thank you for your time and have a great evening, and we'll talk soon. Okay? All right, you guys. Thank you for jumping in. Have a wonderful rest of your week. Talk to you soon. Peace.